I guess that's kind of where I am. Whatever I do next, I'm going to protect my time, because you can't buy back time. I can't get it back. None of us can get it back. Happy Friday. How you're doing? I hope you are unbelievable. So I woke up today thinking it was Friday the 13th. Turns out it's Friday the 15th. So I wanted to start today by saying yesterday's video, when I picked up the camera, I genuinely didn't have anything to say. And then because I picked up the camera, I felt compelled to start speaking, as naturally you do. And yeah, I was then able to actually process kind of what I've achieved over the previous few days. And I guess why I'm saying that is that I think certainly for large parts of this week, I felt like not wanting to speak or to open up. Naturally, that's what I do. We internalize. I internalize. I always make assumptions that, because I do it, everyone else does it. And I'm realizing that we're all different and we don't all do the same thing. So I need to remember that. And so I'm in a similar situation today in that I have been thinking about picking up the camera. It's just after 11 a.m. now, but yeah, thinking about picking up the camera since I woke up. They're going, what will I talk about? What's going to be interesting? And it's creating this idea in my own head, I guess, that these things need to be, or these diary entries need to be performative. And the whole point of a personal diary is that it absolutely doesn't. And that habit of just picking up the camera, seeing where my mind lands or what comes out is something that I am really glad that I'm doing, but I'm struggling to not have to, I don't want to say force myself to do it, because we have a choice. I have a choice as to what I want to do, but doing it is definitely helping. And so I keep reminding myself of that, and I'd love to get to a place where I don't have to remind myself to do that I just pick it up and start chatting. I'll probably talk about this more on future videos, but one thing that I've become really mindful of is the perception of time. And I would say that probably kicked in, not instantly when I turned 40, but around the age of 40. We had a few losses within our family. I'd been so fortunate in that for a large part of my adult life, I've not suffered a great deal of personal loss. And yes, it just triggered this idea that we're not here forever, and so we need to make the days count, time count. And intertwined with that, I've got it in my head to say we. Throughout my life, I've been programmed through, how we're brought up, the education system, society. Everything is tied, or at least in my situation, is purpose is tied to work, and we spend most of our time working. I've been through 2 situations where I've lost my job, one in November last year and the other one 4 years previous, and it's always left me with this feeling that, or it has left me with this feeling that we, as workers, when you work for someone else, you are expendable, or you are a commodity. And there are certain roles or jobs where that isn't the case. But I've just found, certainly in marketing, when situations get tricky in the economy or for a business, the first place that they look to make cutbacks is in marketing. At least that's my experience. I'm not maybe I've just had a bad run. Obviously know other people in the sector that have experienced similar things. Yeah, I've just realised that at any time, when you work for someone else, your time can come to an end, and it could be out of the hands of the person that hired you. It could just be a needs must scenario, nothing personal. And a lot of the time, it definitely isn't personal. It's just businesses need to make difficult decisions for the betterment of their business or the longevity of that business, or in order to take a step back to then take 2 steps forward. Now, when you're on the receiving end of that, which I have been, that is a tough pill to swallow, because as much as I like to pretend I don't have an ego, I do. I think we all have some semblance of ego. I don't think I'm the bee's knees. Every day is a learning day. But I also think I'm a bloody good worker. Like, I'm a grafter, I'm hard work. If I don't know the answer to something, I'll find out the answer to something. And that's always been my mentality. So yeah, it hurts when you are faced with the scenario that you are surplus to requirements. And it just made me think more about time being our most valuable asset. Because if you give so much time to your work, you give so much time to the business that you work for example, there's always that chance that no matter how much you give, that that may come to an end. And so it makes me, I'm now in the phase of kind of thinking about, okay, well, I'm certainly not against working for companies. I think it's quite the opposite. But going into these situations now, I certainly have more of a sense of my worth and what I'm willing to give versus what I was willing to give, say 10 years ago. And that's not to be lazy. That's more to protect myself, protect other interests outside of work, protect family time. And I think, in the early parts of being a dad, I would just throw myself into work because I was clueless about parenthood. But I was like, I know how to work. So if I can provide, then I'm, in my world or in my brain, I'm being useful. Kind of realise, a few years on, how much I missed. How much would have benefited from being more present. But when you're in that moment, you don't see it. And so hindsight's a wonderful thing, and it's definitely something that I've learned to protect more fiercely. Certainly going through these phases of my career, of my life, as I've got older, and sticking on the theme of time, there is this perception in my brain that time is going faster. Now, it isn't. A second is a second, a minute is a minute. But when you're a kid, you're so in the moment with everything, you don't have perception of time. As I kind of went into teenage years, it was like, you want to be older quicker because there are things there that are unobtainable when you're a child, and then you've got adulthood and you might be like 5 or 6 years away and you're like, I want to get there quick. Whereas now in my 40s, I'm like, I want to slow everything down, slow. Just slow down. And it's a constant battle. And I think one of the things I've always been conscious of is to be better at being in the moment, because I've always struggled with that. And that's probably got a lot to do with the neurodiversity that I have. But these things now, these are areas that I really want to focus on, so that notion of time moving quicker than it actually is kind of goes away, and that I can be present in every moment of my life. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of where I am I am, at least today. It's just this idea of whatever I do next, I'm going to protect my time, because you can't buy back time. I can't get it back. None of us can get it back. I don't have regrets. I just call them learnings. Each day that I'm fortunate enough to wake up is a day to be better, is a day to achieve something, a day to impact someone else's life in a positive way. And that's a privilege, a privilege that I take super seriously. So yeah, this little chat is about time and how precious it is, how precious it was, and how I can best utilize it moving forward. So whatever you're doing with your time today, I hope it's making you happy. And if it isn't making you happy, hopefully it's making someone else happy. And I'll catch you very, very soon.